Are you insecure and you don't know what for? Well, we might have the answer because we've done our little research on attachment styles, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So why don't you
Take it from us. Always a concert.
Of course.
Every time I hear.
Of course. I am a musician. Actually.
Wow, she said yes.
Grade 6 piano, that's it.
Okay, but do you know your attachment styles? That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
So for everybody at home, this is what attachment styles are all about. Okay, there are 4 in total.
Okay.
There's anxious, there's avoidant, there's disorganized, and there's secure.
Yeah.
So just offer a little bit of research on both.
Because he did his research.
And I do not remember, hence why it's here. But okay, so adults with an anxious attachment style tend to have a negative self-view, but a positive view of others.
Okay.
Then avoidant have a positive self-view and a negative one of others. So essentially they are opposites.
Okay.
Okay. Then disorganized is an amalgamation of the two. So sometimes they are anxious, sometimes they are avoidant. It depends on their moods and circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, then for secure, it's the most stable one, it's the most well set.
Of course.
They are good to go in their relationships, in life. Yeah. So, given this information about the 4 different attachment styles, which one do you think you are?
I know the answer to this.
Okay.
Because I took the quiz maybe about a year ago, slightly less than a year. I took it in my psych class actually.
Wow.
So yeah, but even if I didn't, I think it's pretty easy for me to guess. My attachment style, at least in romantic relationships, is secure, anxious. Yeah.
Secure,
Yeah.
anxious.
Yeah. So on the graph, I'm like in the middle of the two. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's mine. But your attachment styles, will differ based on who you're talking about. So if your parents is different, or can be slightly different. Your partners, and then with like in the workplace, for example, how you interact with others, it can differ a little bit because your attachment style of your parents very much influence your attachment styles of others. Because usually that's where people are brought up, or that's how people are brought up, like in terms of nature and nurture. So if let's say your attachment style of your parents is more so of a avoidant type, then with your partner it could be like anxious avoidant, for example.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about it as like when you talk about attachment styles, I really only limit it to like relationship. Yeah, I never, like purely romantic relationship. I never thought about parents.
Because developmental psychology plays a huge part in one's life. Throwback and shout out to my prof for teaching me all about it within a span of 1 week in my psych class. It was one of my favorite weeks to learn developmental psychology. Yeah, it is really a very interesting field. But can't really remember much of it. But from what I do remember, at least the bits and pieces, how you grow up. Or rather, they say that somewhat you kind of come out with a clean slate, and then you're born with somewhat of a clean slate, and then when people interact with you, how your parents bring you up, that is what that is how it influences how you attach to others. Because for example, they had experiments where they they had the baby there, and then let's say the child was playing with them, and then the parent would suddenly leave.
Yeah.
And how would the baby react, that sort of thing. So if let's say you're in a situation where your parents are not there or not around you, perhaps you could lean in more into the avoidant type, for example. Yeah, or even more anxious because they're always not there. So you're like, oh, where are they? And you start crying. Yeah,
Interesting.
sort of thing. Yeah, but that's a side tidbit. Please fact check elsewhere online. I am not a credible source.
No, she's as credible as the internet. So like,
this is what I remember from my psych notes. Yeah, but anyways, that's me. Okay, what about you? Yeah.
For me, I would say, I haven't done the quiz.
Okay.
So keep in mind, like, I wanted to do the quiz before we started this episode, but unfortunately, like, it took a long time, so we just scrapped the idea altogether.
Totally
But-
verifiable.
Yeah, 100%.
Source, trust me.
Yeah. Like, where do you cite this source? Me.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I think I'm a secure anxious as well.
Okay.
But I think like my past relationships have made me a bit more anxious.
Okay.
Yeah, which is quite sad. But when it comes to family relationships,
What do you think? What do you perceive of your own relationships?
I think, I think
You sound like the Minecraft guy, you know?
Huh?
You know Minecraft? Wait, is this too like...
Okay,
You know
sidetrack.
Minecraft?
No. Okay,
Have
carry
you
on.
played Minecraft?
I have not. Yeah.
Okay, never
Yes.
mind.
Oh, shit. Oh no.
Okay, I think there are certain traits that are also associated with each type, and that's how people can also characterize, oh, you are secure, for example, if you're avoidant. So traits in terms of how you would react in certain situations, or traits in terms of just in general your outlook on certain things.
Okay.
So from what I remember, and he will verify this.
Yeah,
with
I'm
research,
scrambling to get the research out right now, so give me a sec.
So for example, if you're secure,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, as the name suggests, you're a lot more secure, a lot more open, and you're a lot more, you're willing to talk, for example. You're
yep.
more open, and you're more like confident in in that relationship with your partner. So let's say, for example, they are like they leave for like a trip, a work trip,
Yeah.
or just a trip. You're like, yeah, okay, like you're fine. You don't feel like, like why
Yeah.
are they leaving, and that sort of thing. Conversely, if you're somebody who is like more anxious, please verify this. If you're more anxious, then maybe it's a bit more of like you worry about all these small things, and you're more you view your partner in a more positive way. So because of that, you also feel more negative about yourself. So you feel like, oh, for
Okay.
example, I can't survive like alone, or like,
Yeah,
I wish a
yeah.
partner was here with me, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I think I should just close my laptop and just listen to you, honestly.
Please.
Okay, but based on,
They
because
have put a lot of research.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but based on what you said,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same as what I'm reading right now. So
Okay.
it says here that secure people are more autonomous, avoidant
Yeah.
are more dismissing, anxious are more preoccupied, and disorganized are more unresolved.
Yeah.
So those are the different traits I think we could explore as well.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to tying it back to what I was saying about my family relationships, I do think that I'm a bit more avoidant. Like I don't really have the tendency to talk about my problems, about my worries,
Okay.
regrets with my parents
Okay.
or even siblings as much.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my partner, I'm a bit more anxious, coupled with secure moments also. Because I think like a healthy relationship, for it to play out, like it should be one of secure or one of autonomy that comes with it.
Yep,
And
yep.
I think like when I like in my previous relationships, I didn't really have that autonomy, and I was worrying more so about what my other partner, what my partner would be thinking, what my significant other would be worrying about, would be thinking. Yeah, therefore
Yeah.
I become more anxious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not avoidant with your partner.
No, 100%. I think it pays to be open, pays to be transparent with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
partner.
Okay.
At least going forward, that's what I also intend to do lah, to be
Okay.
a bit more open. Yourself?
Okay. What do you mean? With
Like,
in terms of
sorry,
what?
sorry, that was like a terrible question set. So what about, how is it like with you and your partner right now? Like it's
We're
very
doing
open.
great. In terms of how we
Like
conflict
how-
resolve, or how we just day-to-day life, or
I think day-to-day life, like do you worry, why are you anxious? I think that's more important.
Oh, so real.
Yeah. What
Okay.
are you anxious about?
Okay, maybe to also just give a bit more of a like progression. This is my progress, and this is my journey. This type of story. So from the start. Okay, this is my first relationship. So it's the first time I've ever been in a relationship full stop. Because even previous stuff is never like, it's just a crush, or like at most a situation sort of thing, but it's never like a full on relationship. But my partner has been in a relationship before me.
Yep.
So and for quite a long time as well. So he kind of has solidified his, or at least how he acts in a relationship, that sort of thing. Obviously, it has changed over time as well, because we're all growing older.
Okay.
But you know that he came in already kind of like, okay, this is what I view about like certain things in to do with like
Yep.
being a couple, right? Whereas obviously with me, I was very much a open book, but also not an open book. I say open book because, like I said, first time, so I had no idea what to expect, and I was just
Okay.
very much like, oh, this is what it is, right? But then at the same time, I'm very much influenced by what I see online and in books and in movies, that sort of thing. So I think at the very start, I was very much an anxious sort of girl,
Yeah.
like, hot girls have anxiety.
Wow.
So that's what I was, because I didn't know how to grasp with it, I think. Also because, okay, when you're first together with someone, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like, everything,
Yeah, everything's, like,
overwhelmed. Yeah.
Love and rainbows.
In a
Just-
way, okay.
yeah.
To be fair, I don't think my relationship had a lot of love and rainbows. I actually think my relationship was quite realistic from the
Oh,
start.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
we can delve into that in another time. But point being is that I had a certain preconception of how things were meant to be, and so things like, for example, spending like I thought it was normal, for example, to spend every day with each other.
Yep.
Like, oh, like, you must always go and visit, like, or like be with that person and really stay. So I think for the first few months at least, it was very much like, oh, why are we not spending like every single day together? But as I reflect upon that ain't gonna cut it. That was not gonna cut it for both of us. Like, as in, just because of our personalities as well. Like, obviously we love each other and like, living together, sure, fine. But it's more of like, we're both very much independent people.
Yeah.
But at the start, that was something that I was like, oh my gosh, like my heart would be like, oh, like I miss him so much, which, you still do. But I think recognizing that and then realizing, okay, maybe that's actually not the best thing for us to do. Yeah. So, and in certain things, I think certain situations, I would just be quite anxious in it as well. Maybe, like, for example, okay, to be honest, I'm struggling to think of a specific situation. But I can just think perhaps maybe when he's like, even, okay, like in the past when he was like hanging out with his friends, for example, then he wouldn't like text me for like, let's say like 3-4 hours, right?
Oh,
and I'd be like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, like why isn't he texting me?
I get that.
Right? Yeah. So then I'd be anxious. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, okay, not like, okay, there's two ends. One is like, oh my god, is he dead? Like, do I need to call somebody? Like, is he dead? That sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But another thing is also like, why is he not texting me? Why is he not thinking of me? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is selfish. But yeah, so that's something that I felt in the past. But obviously as years go by, we realized that number one, he's not the biggest texter anyways, and also when he hangs out with his friends, like he usually just doesn't like text. And then number two, I mean, when I got my friends too, I don't really text him either, so it's just like, we do the same, to each other, so I have nothing to worry about. But obviously, we've talked about it, so obviously he'll like text me sometimes, and like it's a balance, but that's in summary, yes.
I get that though. I get that, like that, especially the texting thing, because I think it's very hard for people to understand. Like in this day and age, we text a lot, but text doesn't carry across the tonality of what you say, how you say things, as well as like face to face does. Yeah, and also coupled with the fact that like people do have shit to do, and like they don't have to tell you everything of their day,
No,
okay,
that was something that I had to grapple with. Like, you don't need to tell me like everything about your day, because he is not. He's very much somewhat opposite of me, so he's not a type of person
so not
to,
a yapper.
Share. Yeah, correct. As in, no, he does yap, but like he's like, why do I need to tell you like every single thing that happened in my day? Whereas for me, I'd be like, today I woke up and then I ate my breakfast. I had like a peanut butter jelly breakfast for lunch, and after that I went over here.
It's like every single minute he gets a transcription of your life.
Correct. Yeah, but to me that's like normal. To me that's what I was like. I thought people had to do, because oh my god, you're a couple, like you love each other, you want to, like you're so invested in each other's lives. But I realized you can be invested in silence too.
Real.
As in, you can be invested and just be there for them, and they don't need to tell you like every single thing.
Yeah.
But that's something that like I've had to learn, and I'm still learning like to this day. And obviously he also is also learning how to like deal with what I expect as well. So he's like more open. Obviously, as years go by, more open and more of like, okay, like I will share like stuff about our
That's
day.
nice.
But,
at least he's compromising
least,
in that sense.
Yeah, and I think it's just to each their own. I mean, to each couple, is different, right? But that's how we're doing. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is why I would say that. But my attachment style is mostly anxious, not avoidant. I think, like you said, we try to be as open as possible. Yeah.
Okay. I think my anxious attachment style came about because like it's kind of like the opposite, in a sense of like, or maybe not an opposite, but like perhaps from a different point of view.
Okay.
Where like I didn't get the communication that I wanted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And therefore it resulted in like just a one-way street of information coming from me, but no information coming out of her. So I didn't know what was going on, and therefore I became very anxious in wanting to know, but not getting the knowledge that I wanted.
Right. Oh, so would she like reply you and be like,
how was your day? Fine. Yeah. In essence,
no, not when you're together.
Yeah, right. So like,
should I send an emoji? Just to, like convey.
How was your day?
Thumbs
the
up,
thumbs up, smiley face. But
that's when you know you're in love.
She didn't exactly text that, but in essence it felt like that.
Right.
And that got me very anxious, because like I couldn't go about my day without like if you tell me like, oh, I'm gonna be doing this in a bit. And like letting me know in advance. And like I have like just a bird's eye view of like, oh, how's your day gonna pan out? Then at least like when you don't text me, or if like you're busy with something or whatnot, at least I know that you will tell me later. You will
Okay.
share with me later.
Yeah.
And or I already know your plans, so we'll chill. So then I can afford to be a bit more autonomous. There's a bit more freedom when it comes to me living my life the way I want to without having to worry about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good balance of both. It was like that. The freedom came before I even got into the relationship and therefore I found myself being more secure. But after that relationship that I had, where it was how was your day? Fine. That kind of those kind of scenarios kept playing out. It slowly made me a bit more anxious as time went by.
So do you think it's important that you and your partner have like the same attachment style?
I think it would help greatly.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have the same attachment styles, I think a healthy relationship can still play out as long as communication, collaboration, and what's one more C word?
He's trying to do the rule
Yeah,
of three.
yeah, correct. So that it sticks, you know. But I think most importantly is just that communication, compromise. That's the last C word. Yeah, communication, collaboration, compromise. As long as you're willing to compromise, like if your partner is more anxious and you're more avoidant, let's say I'm the more avoidant one, you're the more anxious one. If I can just tell you like, oh, how my day is gonna pan out,
Right, yeah.
that would ease the anxiety of the other person
Yeah, for sure.
a little bit. And if you're the more anxious one, you have a tendency to over worry. If, let's say, like, I'm just gonna update you how I'm gonna be like, and you give yourself a day to like just like really live life the way you want to, so that you don't worry about your partner. You make yourself busy so that you don't worry about your partner. That's also another form of compromise. Yeah. Then
Okay, fair.
that way, I think the relationship can play out in a healthy and open and loving manner.
But how does one even try to like be secure or like okay, like as in because okay, let's say like you said one of us is avoidant, one of us is
Yeah.
anxious, right? But then it's kind of I won't say conflicting, but it's like as an avoidant, I don't feel like telling you
Yeah.
shit, right? But as
Yeah.
as an anxious person, I need you to tell me things. So isn't it like very conflicting?
Yeah,
So,
so
then how
I-
does one? I mean, you say communicate, which is
Yeah.
fair, but then I think it's very hard to just like just start talking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think if the communication, the open communication doesn't come naturally to you, I think,
Rethink your life.
yeah, like rethink your partner, bro. No, but I think one great way to do it is when you all have arguments. Okay.
Oh, that's a good test.
Yeah.
That's
When
a
you
really
have
good test.
arguments, really distill the argument down and really force yourself to talk about it, because like.
But you know what's funny though? Sometimes when people have arguments, it's because they don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
they argue and
oh.
they're like
Okay.
"Oh, whatever, or like I don't want to talk about it, and just walk away. And
Then
they just
I-
refuse to bring it up again.
Then I think you.
It's very siloed, example, but yes, yeah.
But I think you need to rethink about two things. Do you really love your partner, like the person you're dating, the person you're seeing? Because if you do, you'll be willing to give more of yourself to them. You'll be willing to come to a compromise. Think of all the people that you respect, adore, love. Will you go the extra mile for them? I would say yes.
Right.
And
okay.
therefore, I'll be willing to do things that are a bit more out of my comfort zone,
okay.
like talking after an argument, talking
Right,
about
right.
the argument with my partner. And the second question is, do you love yourself? It's a really deep question, a really heavy question to answer. But you seriously need to ask yourself that, because if you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else?
Right.
You need to understand what your flaws and strengths are before you can bring another person in and put your cards out on the table. Like, this is what I have to offer.
Fair.
Yeah. So if I'm the avoidant type and I really don't like talking about conversations, say it. Like, I really don't like us talking about an argument.
letting
Give
your
me a
person-
bit, give me a bit of space, and then maybe I'll talk to you after. That's an example of a compromise. Like, you don't like talking about it at all, sure, but like, I know that you're worrying about me, and I know it will help if we had a conversation. So I'm willing to do this for you.
It's
Yeah.
giving like love therapy.
Right.
Like he's a love coach over here.
Yeah. But if you guys want to know more, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. If you guys want to see more, let us know in the comments below. If you like what you saw in this episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and watch all our other videos on our channel. We are coming out with an episode every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You guys know the drill. Check us out on YouTube. as well as Spotify at tifupod squad. But where else can they check us out?
So you can also find us on Instagram because we are up to date, we're hip and cool. So we do have a social media account there as well, where we post reels, where we post episode releases, as well as little interactive stories. So y'all can yap back to us as well and let us know how you feel about what we discuss in each episode. And of course, if you have a specific type of topic that you want us to talk about, you can let us know. DM us on Instagram, you can comment down on our YouTube, and we would love to hear what you guys have to say.
But with that, we hope you guys next time especially can take it from us. Bye!
Bye!